Groupon's got a big discount, but it's not one that shareholders will like. There's a big fight going on there between Andrew Mason, the CEO, Eric Lefkowski, the chairman. They're both the co-founders of the company. What they've done is they've shown that dual-class share structures don't really work so well all the time. Rob, give us a little insight onto what the kind of the news is happening.
Well, what happened is people associated with the chairman's camp basically have came out and basically fed stories into the media about, the board is examining Andrew Mason's performance. I mean, you'd expect, the shares are down 80%, so you expect them to kind of look at the CEO.
Right, obviously, nobody's happy with.
Yeah, no one's happy.
The thing went public a year ago, and the stock is down 80%.
So that's understandable. The problem is, leaking these stories into the media is not a good thing, especially if, they've now decided to keep him on. And you have these two people, and between them, and one of Lefkowski's allies, Keywell. Between them, they own over 50% of the vote. What's even more extraordinary...
And they do that with like a super voting kind of stock. They don't actually own that much economic stake in the company.
Well, with less than 1% of the stock between them, they control 35% of the votes.
Right.
So, they could essentially sell a lot of their shares and still maintain a big say in the company. And that's a problem. If you get rid of one of the people and suddenly he's got this huge say in the company, that's not good for shareholders.
Right. Richard, we've seen this across
Right.
Silicon
So what's
Valley,
interesting is you saw it with Facebook. You have the same thing with Facebook. And the argument is you got this wunderkind, Mark Zuckerberg.
He's got a vision.
He's got a vision. You've got to let him have the control, have the vision, not be worried about being sort of got rid of by short-term thinking shareholders, right, and so on. So let's give him super voting shares. But what happens in the end, at the time of that, we were writing about that saying, well, look at News Corp, where you have Rupert Murdoch and also super voting
this happens at Google.
shares.
But
places where it isn't going so well. So,
right.
So News Corp at that time in particular was one place where things didn't seem to be going well at all, and yet the family had this grip. Groupon is this place where these two guys have this grip. It's not going well at all, and
so other
shareholders have nothing they can really do. And
right, you can't get these guys out, right? Because they have this controlling share. It may not matter in the Groupon case. It doesn't. Who's running that company may not matter. The model may be so broken.
It could be a question of fighting over the deck chairs in the Titanic type of thing. The problem is what it could do is make the ship sink even faster, if you want to put it that way. You don't want the CEO trying to turn around the company and having to face every time he goes in to meet someone, the first question is, oh, aren't you going to be fired in a couple months?
And they just had this. He was at a conference, and he basically had to address this and talked about how I'd fire myself if I thought it was the right thing to do.
It makes it hard to run a company, let's put it that way. And the other problem, of course, is that the chairman investors are highly skeptical of him, too, but that's another question.
Right. All right. Well, we'll leave it there, and we'll be back with more Breaking Views next week.